Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing great today, and I appreciate those of you who will be watching this video. Thank you very much. Today I'll be talking about the new Netflix series Trolley. It's a Korean drama, and we'll be talking about episodes 1 through 8. There will be some minor spoilers in here. I'll try not to give away anything major, and near the end I like to speculate and see where series are going, so I'll try to speculate where I think episodes 9 through 16, what will happen in them, trying to predict the future. I don't know if anybody else out there is like me. Please leave some comments below what you think will be going on through episodes 9 and 16, and what you liked about episodes 1 through 8 if you have seen this before. So let's get into this. Get into Trolley. First off, it stars Kim Honju, I think, and then Park Hee-soon. Park Hee-soon. And Trolley is basically, it's basically about, well, let's see, if you've ever heard of the concept where there's a runaway train, it has no brakes, and you got 5 people on a, and then you lose this example here, you got 5 people on the tracks, but there's a turn off, and if you turn the train off to the other tracks, you got 1 person. So do you choose to kill the 5 people, or do you turn the train off to kill that 1 person? What do you do? And that's kind of the concept that this show has, and it is it's one of the questions that their daughter has to face. But reality, what the show is really about is like for every decision or action that we take, there's always like a counteraction or consequences to the decisions that we make, and we see this throughout this series. This type of show is actually something I've been trying to find. I like these kind of shows. It's about a marriage couple. The husband is an assemblyman, so he's in the government. He's an elected official, and I was been looking for a series where you have the husband and wife who are good, working together, fighting against their political rivals, and it's even as like outside forces, but you know, they're working together for the benefit of the people to make things good. And so that's really what drew me into the series, and this is what we get. We get a husband and wife who are good people. They have a daughter, and then they have a son who is the stepson of the wife. And he's not so righteous, I guess you could say. He had some problems. In the first episode, he gets out of jail, and this is a little spoiler there. He dies right away it looks like it could be suicide, but also could be somebody might have murdered him because they found him in a river, and we're not really sure how he got there. So they haven't really touched too much on his death, just that he died, and that he had drugs on him. That was the major thing. That was the major scandal in the assemblyman's life. The show really touches on 2 aspects. Sorry for the cough. One is sexual harassment. Sorry. Sexual harassment and kind of rape. Those have been the 2 big, that's been one big issue. And the other one is suicide. There is a lot of people committing suicides in this show, which I find like in most of the Korean shows, especially on Netflix, like every story not every story, but the majority of stories have somebody either committing suicide or attempting suicide. And this show goes overboard with that. You have, if the son really did commit suicide, he'd been 1. You have a young woman who committed suicide because her boyfriend threatened to release a video of those 2 having sex. You have her boyfriend, the med student, committed suicide because it got out that he was going to do that, so he didn't want to go to prison, so he committed suicide. And then you had when the wife was a young girl, she was molested by a guy who was accepted to a big med school. It was like the first in his little town community to do so. And when the police came to investigate him, he committed suicide. You have another woman who attempted suicide. So you got like 5 people either committing suicide or trying to commit suicide. So like sexual molestation, sexual harassment, rape, stuff like that is one big theme And then the other one is people not willing to, uh, people committing suicide. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Well, maybe it's not weird, but like, for those people, like the big story is here is that somebody commits suicide and they want to blame other people for the reason why a person commits suicide. So, for example, the big controversy around our heroes here, our assembly man, is that he brought to light that this med student was going to was going to release this sex tape, and they all blame him because the med student didn't want to face the crime that he did, and he committed suicide. So his parents and others are saying that this assemblyman, our male lead here, actually murdered him because he brought to light what this guy did, and he committed suicide. It's same for our female lead, the wife there, when she was molested as a child. That family of the guy who did that to him, he committed suicide, and they're trying to say that she was the one who murdered him, even though, he didn't want to face up to the crime that he did. And that's really what's the two biggest things going on right now is people getting sexually harassed, and then there are people who did it committing suicide. And I don't know much about Korean law, but according to the show, is if somebody dies while being investigated for a rape or something, the investigation stops because the person's dead. And so one of the main agendas that our politician has here is to amend a law where the investigation keeps going on even after the person who was accused of doing the crime, the sexual crime there, the investigation keeps on going on even after they die. So that's his big agenda. And then you have another thing going on where he's against a corrupt politician. And that's kind of like the big battle there. And the reason why this guy's corrupt is because he's given his family's information about what land to buy, so they can invest in this land and then sell it for a profit. Seems to be the big crime there. And then also we have going on, before the son died, he got a woman pregnant, and she comes up to the door, and so they're kind of taking care of her. And that's kind of like another tier of another plot line that's going on. And I really do appreciate the young woman who was pregnant. I don't want to give, almost give away a big spoiler there, I guess, for this first 6 episodes. But really like the storyline between the young woman and the wife. I like the, because it's obvious that this young lady really needs a role model, a mother figure, somebody to look up to. And we have the wife kind of taking her underneath her wing. And we see that the young woman really looks up to her. I feel like she kind of sees everybody else in the family as being hypocrites. Like the husband, even though he's like a nice guy, he is really a nice guy. But he doesn't really like the young lady who was her son's boyfriend. And we find out in episode 8 why he's not real too warm toward her. At the end of episode 8, we see that, and he kind of reveals that information to his wife at the end of episode 8. So we'll see how that relationship is. Of course, the young lady at the end of episode 8 leaves the house. But I hope that it doesn't look like, seeing the previews for episode 9, she'll be completely out of the family's life. You got a feeling that she'll probably play a bigger role going into, like her role will end up being pretty major going on. Maybe she'll help out the family somehow and the politician's re-election. We'll see how that develops. The daughter has mostly been quiet in these first 8 episodes. She hasn't really done much. She's there. She's very smart. She loves her family. She's very supported by her mother and father. Though in episode 8, she gave advice to one of her friends who found out that her father is having an affair. And she gave advice that if she found out her father was having an affair, she would tell the whole world. So, I don't know. Since this show is really about your decisions and the consequences they have, we'll see if her friend takes that advice and tells everybody that her dad was having an affair. and we'll see if that plays any roles in the next 8 episodes, the last 8 episodes, and see kind of what part the daughter will have. Her character so far has really just been not important at all. She's just kind of been there in the background with her family. But moving forward, the show is really good. Sorry here, stumbling over my words. Thank you for being patient. But I really like this show. I like the writing of it. I like how we do got that political fighting, and we got that support system going on with the family between the husband and wife. Which at the end of episode 8 as well, we kind of see this relationship, the support that the wife has for the husband, be shaken up a little bit as he's starting to do tactics that she doesn't really agree with. He's wanting to use the media to try to push forward his agenda of amending this law that he's wanting to fix about the sexual harassment thing. And she doesn't like that he's using the media because it's causing a backlash on the med student's family. And she doesn't want to see people being hurt. That, like the med student's already gone. She don't want to see additional affliction on his parents as well. But the husband, the politician feels like he has to do it to get awareness, so the public opinion will be out there to help influence other assemblymen to pass this amendment that he's trying to get through. So we did get to see a little conflict there, and I kind of enjoyed that conflict on that aspect that they're kind of butting heads on that. I think that's really good writing. I'm glad we don't have like a third wheel mistress or a guy hitting on her kind of thing to cause conflict with that marriage. I kind of like it that they used the political aspect of it. I believe that was really good writing. Moving forward, I think eventually we're going to have to get a challenger. Even though he's up for re-election, we don't have a challenger for his position. He has a rival, but the guy this rival inside is already elected. Both of them are already elected, so they're not going against each other for election. So I think these next 8 episodes will probably get some kind of political rival for his re-election. We still got to resolve the woman, her childhood friend, the wife's childhood friend, who really hates her because she thinks that she lied about her brother. It's going at her pretty hard. It kind of reminds me of the new show Glory. She's out for revenge, only she doesn't realize that she's the bad guy, that her family's lied to her. Her mom lied to her about what really happened, and her brother lied to her that he didn't really molest our leading lady there. So her whole motives is based on lies. So I had a feeling before it ends, the truth will be revealed to her. Hopefully we get some kind of reconcile between our first lady and her nemesis right now. Because in childhood we were really close friends, but that event separated them. So hopefully we get some kind of resolve and reconciliation between those two. And then I think I don't know. That's the big one right now. It comes top of my mind. I think he'll win re-election. Hopefully, I'm hoping that the young lady who was the son's ex-girlfriend, I hope that she'll be able, by the end of this, she'll be like a family member. They'll treat her like a family member at the end, because I think her character real decent. She's kind of iffy, I don't know if she really is hanging out with the right group of people, and that she really needs that family, that support of good people in her life. So hopefully that comes to fruition there at the end, and maybe she'll help come like the wife's assistant, and then doing the book thing. The wife does restores damaged books. This video is getting really long. There's a lot to say on these discussions here, but I think that's the major thing. There are some iffy people around Assemblyman. I don't really know if I like his assistant very much. The guy he sends out to help clean things up, find information for him. He seems kind of a bad, on a borderline of being bad. The Assembly Man, he always tries to do the good things, but he does have a tendency sometimes to go push a little bit to the bad side, but he's generally a good guy. The guy that's underneath him, that's giving him advice and stuff, he seems like a good guy, but seems like he's more willing to do some underhanded tactics to get the job done. So yeah, that's what I think about Trolley. I'm looking forward to it. The last 8 episodes. Really enjoyed it. I think it's a great series. The acting's really great. Writing's terrific so far. We'll see how it finishes out. Hopefully it doesn't hit a dud. I'm kind of getting over the whole sexual harassment storyline. Hopefully it's not the whole 16 episodes, but it's looking like it might be. More interested in, him going head to head with the other congressmen about this land scandal, his corruption, and see who would win that way. And that the sexual harassment thing will finish hopefully in the next 2 episodes. And also our leading lady here going against the family that's accusing her of lying and stuff. I think they should focus more on that. So hey, 16 minutes into this. If you're still here, I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with me. Please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the series, where you think it's going. And have a great day. Bye.